All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out my show. So, what I'm going to call this podcast is It's Okay to Be Incredible at Something. And I realized throughout my life, a lot of times you have people that pitch their bullshit how incredible they are at things when the reality is they're not, especially when it comes to their job. Or it could be being a parent, a grandparent, or being a sibling. It could be whatever the case may be. A lot of people think they're better at things than they truly are. I'm not here to dig on them and say that they're not good at what they do, but I'm talking about somebody who's actually maybe incredible at being something. Now, I know there's all these different things, especially when it comes to personal relationships, saying how can you determine, an incredible parent compared to this parent because of the situation they were born into and all that. But I think you know what I mean when I say there are different levels of people when it comes to doing certain things. And in this case, what I'm going to kind of talk about is the flip side of that, where I see a lot of people that are really good at a lot of things, even great, but they either can't acknowledge it because they don't want to kind of bring attention to themselves. They may be embarrassed. They may not want to come off as a show off, and this goes across the board. Now, I'm not just talking about people like, say, in the entertainment industry that I dealt with, which, you got people that perform a lot of times, musicians, obviously actors, writers, things in that nature where it's kind of, I call those spotlight positions where if you're incredible at something, everybody's paying attention to you while you're incredible. Could be an athlete as well. But there's a lot of people out there that are really incredible at one thing or a bunch of things that I think also they don't take advantage of. It's like, they just kind of ignore something that they're really great at. Now, if they want to ignore it or don't want to acknowledge it or not want to be a part of it, I understand that. But I do run across a lot of people that are very fearful of something that they're already really good at. A lot of times I bring in fitness, so I will throw this in there. A lot of people, and I talk about this, have incredible genetics. I have a cousin like this. I'm not going to throw him under the bus and say who it is, but I have a cousin that really never worked out. He played some sports in his past. He could have had the body of a god. Great height, shoulders, legs, back, chest. He has it all. And I'm not saying he had to go work out or become a bodybuilder, powerlifter, none of that. Because he really, I don't think, was into it. He was more into the arts, let's just say. So that's one thing. But I do run across other people that I know that have incredible genetics that are literally afraid to, like, go work out, for instance. Okay? And they know they're strong. They know they're very coordinated. And this can go for young guys, I think, I run into. A lot of my friends, they have sons, even daughters, and a lot of them are athletes. It's pretty interesting that a lot of my friends' kids are all, very athletic. And a lot of them, I should say, a lot of them weren't that, I should say, in high school or college, they weren't athletes. Or they played sports, but nothing at the level of their kids. And I could see because they hit me up a lot when it comes to working out. And they ask me tons of questions. They send me, sometimes the parents will send me videos all the time of them working out, whatever they're doing, if it's a different sport or if it's lifting weights, all these different things, even in the basement or in the gym. And I love it. And we kind of go back and forth. And I really try to encourage those kids or anybody to realize that, they truly have not discovered their full potential. And they may be great at something or may end up being great at something. And I think this goes across the board, regardless if you're a teenager or a kid or an adult. You also may have never found out what you truly are great at. I honestly believe we all have incredible talents. You just have to find them or develop them. I think most people neglect them, or they think it's going to come too easy, or they kind of fall short when it comes to certain things because they've tried certain things and it hasn't worked out. And I'm like one of those dudes for sure. I just have a different perspective, and I just keep trying different things, and I keep going. I kind of look forward to the failure, the struggle, and all those type of things. So I'm kind of different on that end, but I know there's so many people out there that have incredible potential. And I'm not saying this to blow smoke up your ass or pretend like I'm some guru guy telling you to go, if you follow my program or you listen to me and all these different things. I say this all the time. Who gives a shit about me? You got to figure out your own way. We don't live the same life. But I can assure you, most likely, no matter who you are, if you're listening to me, You may have not found it, or you may be incredible at something, and it's okay. Sometimes, too, I think a lot of us get afraid to excel beyond what our surroundings are. And that can go for definitely, I think, in careers. A lot of times I've seen people. If they're not entrepreneurs, say, they don't really have the balls, I guess, to go independent. In the workplace, a lot of times they become very comfortable in the position they're in, which is understandable. But they probably, a lot of times, there are certain groups that can excel beyond. That could go for at school as well. You may be in a certain class or, in a certain position where you're friends or whatever, and it could be even in sports or whatever the case may be, at the workplace again, where you're kind of happy where you're at, but you just know deep down inside you're way more maybe intelligent than these people. You're way more coordinated. You're way more advanced than these people. But you kind of hold yourself back. If you want to do that, that's wonderful. And I get sometimes, again, it's hard to, keep excelling too at something, because I think one of the things I think people are afraid of, the more kind of sometimes you excel or you're beyond what everybody else that you're around, you kind of think you're going to end up alone. And the truth is you may. And I know that's hard to take, or you're going to have to make new friends or make new connections or just go do things that not everybody else has done before. Or is not doing, I should say. So these are things definitely to consider, but I'm just telling you, don't sell yourself short in life, regardless what the hell it is. And a lot of times I know people always talk about it's about the money. You could be great at something, and if you are great at it, you should be making a ton of money at it. Or that's what you have to do if you're great at something. I'm here to tell you, you don't have to think that way. If you're great at something, just, excel in it the way you want to excel in it. It doesn't always have to be about money. I don't care if you're a gardener and you're amazing or you're good at gardening. That doesn't mean you have to run and open a landscaping business, is what I'm saying. I think you kind of get, if you're a good athlete, hypothetically, or really, really good, that doesn't even mean that you have to go play, if you're in high school, collegiate, or become a professional athlete. If you're good at it and enjoy it, just go do it for the sake of doing it. It's okay. You know what I mean? And if you have to play in an advanced league with, and you're not that, I think this is what it comes down to. I'm going to wrap it up with this. Everything a lot of times in life, when you're really good at something, people automatically want to make it extremely competitive. I don't care if it's chess, I don't care if it's athletics, I don't care if it's education, I don't care if it's the workplace. It all a lot of times comes down to money, and that you should excel and get the most out of all your talents, and the way you do that, improve your worth, is by money. Now, I'm not saying to devalue money. Money is absolutely incredible, right? You need it to survive. But I am telling you, that's not always has to be the case. You could be incredible at something. It could even be drawing. It could be music or whatever. That doesn't mean that you have to always think out of it from, I have to create music to get signed by a label to make a lot of money and become famous. If you're good at making music, make music. If you enjoy yourself. Just like I said before, sports, even at the workplace, or you want to eventually, the competition really too, that's what I was trying to say. I got a little distracted. I think what a lot of people get afraid of when they're really good at something is thinking they always have to compete against others. Again, back to music, you don't have to compete against other bands. If you're in or you're starting a new business necessarily, I get if you started some type of brand, that there are other brands out there. But you don't have to, if you're great at, say, creating something within a brand. Of course, you're going to may end up competing against them, but in reality, you don't. You could just do whatever you want to do. And if you're great at what you do, it's kind of like cream, I always say, rises to the top. Don't get, it's not just about competition, is what I say. Really, the only one you're really competing against is yourself. I discuss it all the time. So I just want to do a podcast on this fear. Incredible things, it's okay. And just because you are incredible at something doesn't mean you also have to always take the route everybody else has taken, who's either done that or something similar to. You have your own route to follow. And that's really about it. All right. Take care. I got a website, richcelenza.com. You got any questions or comments, hit me up. Take care, and I wish you nothing but the best.